And Lenin returns to Russia. All right. Lenin's return was in April of 1917. And he was greeted by real protesters as a hero. He began making speeches on workers' rights, equality, women's rights, peace, he preached. He preached peace, equality, bread and land for all in a fair and equal Russia. Does that sound familiar, folks? All we want is peace, peace, peace. All we want is equality for all, which is impossible to create. A government cannot create equality. That is impossible. Never in the history of the world has it ever happened. And it never will, because it's impossible. As long as you have individualism, you'll have people that are better than other people, more creative, people that make more money, people that are smarter. This is the way it is. C'est la vie. That's called life. Okay? But he was out there preaching peace, bread, land, equality for all. And then that led to the Bolshevik newspapers and pamphlets. They started circulating through the crowds, all through St. Petersburg and throughout Russia, where these protests were taking place. And they began, and these leaflets and pamphlets began praising the ideas of equality, peace, harmony, equality. I mean, those are great buzzwords, aren't they? But by the summer of 1917, Lenin then pushed the revolution up, gave it even more momentum, and this led to the October Revolution, where it all came to a climax. And it's unbelievable, man. And then the rest is history. You had the Bolsheviks taking over, throwing over the Tsar, who was bad, but replacing it with even something worse, something a lot worse. A system of terror, the Red Terror of Bolshevism, that ended up in the extermination of 80 million to 100 million people throughout the parts of the Soviet Union and throughout Russia. The Ukrainian starvation and genocide there. And then shooting out from that, we got the Mao Zedong and the Bolshevik movement in China. Okay? When you count up all the deaths globally from this Marxist ideology, it pales to anything that's ever been attempted in the history of mankind. All right? Sometimes the people that preach peace are the best at doing mass murder. And never forget that. Let's look at some of the things that Lenin started here. One of the first things they brought in with Bolshevism was something known as labor Zionism, which actually was the foundations of the labor movement today. Okay? And why am I bringing this up? Because this is very important. Because who are we hearing on the news now is now rapidly entering into this protest? It is the labor unions. The unions. These are corrupt, socialist scumbag organizations. All right? Controlled by Zionists. Every damn one of them. And they're criminal enterprises for the most part. And so the Bolsheviks start enforcing the labor movements. And this was based on the teachings of Theodore Herzl and Chaim Weizmann. The whole idea of labor Zionism. I mean, labor Zionism actually eclipsed political Zionism by the 1930s, both internationally and within Britain and within Palestine. All right? Eclipsed political Zionism. And we begin to see the spread of labor unions globally. We see them here in this country. Labor Zionists played a leading role in the 1948 Arab-Israeli War. And labor Zionists were predominant among the leadership of the Israeli military for decades after formation of the State of Israel in 1948. Now, why is that important? Because what are they doing here? They are directly aligned with radical movements that do not have your freedom, your health, and longevity in mind. Trust me, the people running these things, look, the people in the streets holding up signs are fodder. Fodder. That's what they are. All right? So we see now the labor unions. A little history there. Now entering into this, we see the elite Zionist pig George Soros entering into this. And we'll pick it up on the other side. This is very important. Stay tuned, please. Exposing the Occupy Wall Street movement, Nonconformity Live, Tuesday edition. Either we take it over or we bring it down. Yeah, welcome back. They're all liars. Go ahead, Dave. Play that clip. I want people to hear it.
It's about having a space where women and people of all genders can dress how they want, and the understanding of that is not an invitation for sexual assault, and that consent is extremely important.
Women shouldn't be intimidated into covering up if they don't want to, but that shouldn't be an invitation to people to touch.
1 out of every 4 women in this country is going to be raped or sexually assaulted. I myself was molested as a child, and this notion that I somehow contributed to that, it doesn't matter if I'm wearing my bra, it doesn't matter if I'm wearing a burqa, because no one has any right to touch me.
Just trying to show the body and not have it mean anything sexual. We're here to make this world a better place, the world where people don't get raped and people don't get victimized.
So thank you all so much. Get home safely.
All right. Now, yes, rape is terrible. We're all against rape. We can agree on that. Not attacking that now. Don't think for a minute that I am. But what am I attacking? You look at this video of this slut walk. There's all these young girls parading the streets like a bunch of freaking prostitutes. Some of them hardly wearing any clothes. I'm sure their mom and dads are proud of their daughters walking through the streets looking like a bunch of, crack whores in New York. I'm sorry. That's what that is. You can be against rape without looking like a complete moron, without looking like a complete nut job. All right? And it's the same thing they did in Russia with the Bolshevik Revolution. You had all these radical women's groups with the protesters demanding crazy crap. Most of them a bunch of lesbian Zionist pigs, okay, walking around looking like straight out of hell. I'm sorry, but and that's what they're doing here. That this is intermingled now, just like it was in 1917. Mm-hmm. And we know who created the feminist movement. We've done it on the show. A bunch of elite Jew Zionist freaking criminals that hate this country, that want to bring us into internationalism. That's who created it. Betty Friedan. I can go on and on. All the names. Just take a look at it. Google it. Okay? And now we see the labor unions. And before the break, we're getting into labor Zionism and how that branched out into the labor movements. And now we see the labor movements coming in to this protest, to join this protest. Well, let's take a look at this. Okay? We see who controls the unions. Let's give a little rundown here. And this is actually, you can check this out. This is from a article from November 5th, 2005 from the Jewish Review. All right? And it says American Library Association, Maurice Friedman, American Federation of Teachers, Sanda Feldman, Service Employees International Union, Andrew Stern, Communication Workers of America, Morton Barr, Vice President Larry Cohen, Unite, President Bruce Rayner, the Newspaper Guild, Carol Rothman, American Association of the Advancement of Science, Alan Leshner, Union of Concerned Scientists, Kurt Gottfried, Foundation of Education, Eric J. Wasserman, and Harvey Silvergate, Internet Institute of Medicine, Harvey Feinberg, American Psychological Association Union, Robert Sternberg. National Association of Social Workers, Terry Mitzray. Unbelievable. All of these unions, I could go on and on and on. Industrial Engineers Union, Jeremy Weinstein. Middle East Studies Association, Joel Binion. I mean, it goes on and on, folks. Let the unions go out there and join in this Zionist occupation of Wall Street. Why don't we just call this the Zionist occupation of Wall Street and get it over with? Moving on. We have from the NewYorkSocialist.org. Go to this New York Socialist, New York City, NYCSocialist.org website. On the top of this website, it says Socialist Worker Report on Occupy Wall Street. They're praising it. And at the top of that, it says, listen to this, Fall 2012 Greater New York Marxism Conference. Oh my God, you can't even make this crap up. Fall, are you ready for the Fall 2012 Greater New York Marxism Conference? I'm sure that's probably after the Bolshevik Revolution that they're planning on Wall Street. They'll probably have the Super Congress there with all the Zionist planners carving up the rest of the property through Agenda 21. Unbelievable. But in this article it says, Socialist Worker Report on Occupy Wall Street. It says, participants in the Occupation of Wall Street march toward the Brooklyn Bridge. The stakes went up for the Occupy Wall Street protest movement this weekend after police escalated their repression with the arrest of over 700 peaceful protesters during a march across the Brooklyn Bridge on October 1st. But the arrest couldn't stop the growing enthusiasm for the movement. On the contrary, similar occupations continued to spread to other cities and around the U.S., and the movement in New York City received more endorsements and more pledges of support from labor and community organizations ahead of a major union rally planned for this Wednesday. Occupy Wall Street and its sister actions around the country have become lightning rods, drawing people fed up with every aspect of a world dominated by the greed of Wall Street and the top of U.S. society. I don't see anything about the Federal Reserve in there. All they're pissed off is that people that made money, that's all. It says in New York, Friday and Saturday saw the largest marches yet from the Occupy Wall Street encampment. Okay? At the Saturday demonstrations, marchers left the camp and took both the pedestrian and vehicle lanes when they got to the bridge, halting traffic. And you can go on this website. So they're all praising their actions. This is on NYCSocialist.org. You got they're all happy about their job they're doing on the Occupy Zionist Wall Street. And they're planning their Fall 2012 Greater New York Marxism Conference. Isn't that special? Oh, but you know what? I really love this was happening. You know what? When this thing started, I was excited. But the more I dig into this, either the freedom people take it over, or this thing's got to be dismantled and discredited. I'm serious. Because the stakes are frankly too goddamn high in this country. And I'm not going to I'm sorry this offends people, but I have a 3-year-old son, and I'm not about to let some freaking morons that don't know history, who are being paraded through the streets like sheep, led by these scumbags, destroy this country as the nail in the coffin. Hell no, I'm not going to support that. You can forget about it. You can shove it straight up your ass. Let's look at what Vladimir Lenin said while the Bolshevik Revolution was taking place. A lie told often enough becomes the truth. A revolution is impossible without a revolutionary situation. Furthermore, not every revolutionary situation leads to revolution. You got to help it along, folks. Can a nation be free if it oppresses other nations? It cannot. You see how peaceful that sounds coming out of the mouth of a mass murderer? Capitalists are no more capable of self